This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Burn. You're gonna play that every time now?
That's right, everyone gets their own intro. That's right, every show. Hey everyone, welcome back to, you know what that burn means. Welcome back to the Nightwing News. I am Phil. Joining me as always is
Kristen, hello.
Alright, and as we said last time, we're going to be looking at a more modern take on Dick Grayson's origin again, this time from Batman Dark Victory. Well, mostly from issues 9 and 13. Got about 2 pages in issue 8, at the end of issue 8. So, yes. So, Batman Dark Victory. I should have looked this up ahead of time, but what year was that?
2000, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that, because I knew Long Halloween.
It might cross over to... well, it says copyright 99, 2000, so...
Okay.
By the time Dick gets in, I'm sure it's at 2000. Because I think I saw a couple of them, it says, I'm seeing Loeb sale 2K at the bottom.
November 1999 through December 2000.
Oh, so yeah. All of Dick's stuff is in 2000. Why 2K?
This is it's hard to believe this is a 20-year-old story already.
I know. Dick is old. That means the one we did last week was 25 years old.
That's right.
Hey. Time flies.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, at least for me, it doesn't seem like it's 20 years old because I didn't read it in 2000.
Okay.
So it's not as old for me.
I was reading this in Long Halloween when they came out, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. I didn't read it till trade paperback.
So yeah, like we said, like you said, there's 2 pages at the end of issue 8 that show, well, the circus, and then
setting it up. Yep, the circus.
You see that little shadow.
The circus.
You see that little shadow leaping from object to object in the background.
Yep, yeah, and it's important to know because sometimes when if you're reading quickly, because sometimes I read quickly and don't always soak in all the image. There's Dick up there.
Yep.
He's checking it out. Plus, it's nice because you see their costumes that, obviously is very indebted to the, the Robin costume, excuse me. The Robin costume is going to be very indebted to their circus costumes. Then also, I think it gets talked about a lot. I know it gets talked about a lot on fan sites and pops up in fan fiction and stuff, but it says, young Dick Grayson performing the quadruple spin of doom. I don't know if this might be the first time that canon, if you will, establishes that Dick can do the quadruple flip of doom.
I don't know if that was the exact move, but I know there was something similar to that mentioned in, was it year 3? And I know definitely A Lonely Place of Dying because that's the move Tim sees Dick do.
We haven't reread it. Yeah, we haven't reread it yet, so we'll have to be on the lookout. Does he just say... I wasn't sure if he said no one can move like that, or Robin did. I saw Dick do a flip like that, and then Robin did it. I'm not sure if he specifies how many flips it was, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I thought there was some name, or at least a triple or a quadruple something, and then Tim was
Could be. We'll find out. But it's definitely here.
Yes.
Quadruple flip of doom. So... you've got that going on. And then, of course, I think this is a nice touch, adding in particularly why Bruce goes to the circus. I think it's something that they definitely need. Back in 1940, it was no big deal to have Bruce go to the circus because Bruce wasn't quite as dark and I don't want to say not as devoted, but maybe not as obsessive as he becomes maybe in later years, maybe after Crisis. Mm-hmm. I kind of got the feeling in 1940 that Batman wouldn't necessarily go out if he didn't see the bat signal. You get that from Batman 66. They're just hanging around, and then the commissioner calls up. But anyway, so Batman's not so much like that anymore, so I thought it was a nice touch that they give him kind of an extra reason to go to the circus. in Dark Victory besides just, hey, you paid for the circus, for a charity performance of the circus. Also, all these threats are happening on Mother's Day, and the circus performance is going to be the day after Mother's Day. And Alfred reminds Bruce, because Bruce says, I didn't get a chance to go out and see my mom's grave today because it was Mother's Day. I knew somebody was going to get murdered because that's what happens in Dark Victory. People get murdered on holidays. And Alfred says, well, maybe you should consider going to the circus. Your mom really liked the circus.
And he said the donation.
And I thought that was a nice touch.
Yes, and the donation was made to the Martha Wayne Foundation.
Yeah. So I thought it was good for many reasons. But it gives Bruce it gives extra explanation for why Bruce Wayne is there that night and not out Batmaning, which is good. I also think it's kind of nice because you might know better, and it's probably something that's just been developed a little bit more in more recent years, but I feel Bruce Wayne has always been portrayed as it's really about his dad. I mean, not that he didn't like his mom, but it seems to be kind of father-focused, that when he thinks of his parents, it almost seems as though he thinks of his father first. And I think sometimes with Dick's maybe more even. It feels to me that Dick thinks about his mom or talks about his mom more than Bruce Wayne talks about his mom.
Well, yeah, they've definitely fleshed out Bruce's father way more than his mother.
Right. And I mean, they haven't fleshed out Dick's parents to any extent that they have Thomas Wayne, but it just seems to me that they've done a little more with Dick's mom. And I don't want to say that Bruce is, more affected by his dad being killed than his mom, and Dick is more by his mom being killed than his dad, because I think it's more equal. But it just seems they do stuff with Dick's mom that they don't do with Bruce Wayne's mom. I know the pearls, they're very famous, but now that they've started to emphasize that Dick didn't just pull Robin out of the blue, it was his mom's nickname it was his nickname. It's always been his mom's nickname.
Yes.
For him. And even when they did New 52, he was getting his mom that bracelet that was Robin's. I just think they play up Dick's mom more than they do the equivalent for Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And so I thought it was nice that, I mean, it sucks because his parents are going to get murdered, but it's interesting, and it was a meaningful choice that they were playing that up on, that they introduced Dick on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So anyway, that's only 2 pages, and they have so much going on there.
I know. Stuff. But no, then like issue 9 opens, Orphans, the title. But the first,
and then there's 4 pages, 2 full-page spreads without any words.
Yeah, and the first page by itself. Yeah, it's just like silent. It's the moment. Yeah, Dick's parents die, and it's just the whole thing is just no text at all.
Yeah. That's really powerful. And you can see, I'm not sure if they're, we don't know, but the way they put it in the trade paperback, their eyes are lined up.
Oh.
Like, it seems to me that...
Yes, like they're looking, like Dick and Bruce are looking at each other, yeah.
That I don't know if their eyes are actually meeting, because Dick's probably more focused on his parents, but definitely Bruce is looking at him.
Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism here, because even like on the next 2 pages, like, the only thing lit up then is Dick in the center there with his parents, and then Bruce up in his seat there.
Yeah, so... And he's down there with his parents in the pool of blood, which is the thing that Bruce Wayne does. So yeah, it's really intense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew it was coming, obviously, but still was really intense. Also, it kind of looks like Dick's not wearing a shirt. Which I'm not sure if that's true, but maybe. I mean, he is on the poster, but it's hard to tell.
Unless they change change the outfits every.
Yeah. I mean, that could be good, because if it takes you a step back from obviously connecting Dick Grayson to Robin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The last time they saw Dick Grayson perform, he was shirtless. But anywho.
Yeah, because that would be the performance everyone remembered.
Right, yeah. And so then we jump ahead to Father's Day. Because that's when
Dick just hanging out.
The next stuff is going to happen. And then we can kind of skip over the whole Dick being in the center or juvie or wherever it is they're supposed to be, and the whole adoption fostering process. Boom. Time has passed. Legalities we're done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like the original, they just, like, glossed over it.
Right, yeah. And now he is, boom, at the manor.
Hanging out on the chandelier.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. You notice that Alfred isn't calling him Master Dick yet. He's just calling him Dick. So I don't know if that's a sign that maybe he's not sure if it's going to be temporary or permanent.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe he just calls the people of the house that, and he's not sure if Dick's staying yet or not.
Yeah. But yeah, Dick being up on the chandelier is pretty awesome.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not going to fall. And Alfred's like, I'm not so sure about the chandelier.
Right, yeah, which is cute. But then he's trying to think it through. He's trying to convince himself it was an accident, but he knows his dad tested the ropes, and he knows the way he saw when he was on the billboard.
And all, hey, where's Bruce at?
Yep. And then we go to Anthony Fats Zuko, who I feel like in more recent times, Zuko has been getting a little bit demoted. Wasn't he kind of... Originally, he felt like he was kind of the leader in Newtown, right across... And now in this one he works for the Maroney family, which is not as powerful as the Falcone family.
Well,
are they kind of?
They're kind of like, I'd say they're probably about I'm trying to remember. I think Falcone is the actual top of the ladder, but Maroney is, Maroney throws the acid in Harvey Dent's face. Right,
yes, yeah, which... I forget. Wait, does that happen in the beginning of Dark Victory, or is that in Long Halloween?
That's towards the end of Long Halloween.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The main point was Tony Zuko's kind of been getting demoted over the years too. I felt like he was a mob boss of his own smaller town, and now he is just a cog in the machine.
Because I don't know. I think it's like just like with the top of Gotham's crime ladder be like trying to knock over like a circus.
I mean, yeah, it does make sense.
Especially in the modern day.
Right, yeah. I mean, circuses are, yes. The circus by 2000 is not what it was in the 40s.
No.
So, yep.
I'm just waiting. What do you think? Another 10, 20 years are going to be like, oh, Dick's parents fell off the trapeze to their death on America's Got Talent.
No, they might have to make it more like Haley's Cirque du Soleil, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think probably they'll keep it because people are going to remember circuses, and there's so much backstory, and like with Dumbo and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he could still be in the circus. I just think what would get taken away would be the animals. So his best friend couldn't be Zika anymore.
Yes.
Or Eleanor, depending on which one you're watching and what they're calling her.
Because
okay, skipping over some stuff that's to the plot of the crime, which is not what we're interested in.
the Falcones, including Alberto Falcone, who was the holiday killer in the long Halloween.
Yep. But then this couple spread mirroring Dick and Bruce with Alfred in the room. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, because he wanders.
Yeah,
in,
the way
he wanders.
Yeah, the way Dick goes in, and Alfred says the same thing. What are you doing in here? And then Dick's kind of asking about, talking about his mom with the hairbrush. He had a hairbrush like that.
I kind of like what they did with those 2 pages where it's like, between the flashback and the present day.
You see the other kid's face.
Yeah, young Dick and young Bruce looking at each other through the mirror.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And, a similar conversation. I mean, Alfred he says it's not really my place to say for certain in both of them. But then I love this spread.
Oh yeah.
This spread where Bruce says, "I'm all alone now, Alfred," and Alfred doesn't know what to say, and he doesn't say anything.
Yes.
And then Dick says, "I'm all alone now, Mr. Pennyworth," which that works because at this point in time, Bruce, of course, is much closer to Alfred. I mean, Dick's only been there a month. He doesn't really know Alfred that well. But then Alfred says, "I can only tell you, Dick, something I wish I had said a long time ago to someone else. You are not alone. I imagine you will never be again."
Yep.
And that's really awesome. That's really great because it's a lot of character growth for Alfred. Alfred did a great job, but I think what they're kind of playing up is that it is a little, Bruce definitely thinks of Alfred as his father.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mean, he has more than one dad. But it was definitely hard for Alfred to make that transition because he was an employee. He was the butler.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course he's doing it the first time around. He's not perfect. But Alfred has learned from his mistakes. And he knows, nope, don't want to let any kids think they're alone anymore. Bad things happen when you do that. They become bad-dressed vigilantes. And he's like, no, you're not alone. And also, that's a great thing to set up how Dick and Bruce, they're very similar, but they're also very different. And of course, this is one of the big, there are many reasons. There are many reasons for it, Dick grew up in the circus, Bruce grew up a rich kid,
yes.
Dick saw his parents more, blah, blah, blah. But definitely, once they're both in Wayne Manor, the whole, you're never going to be alone again, really drives home how Dick's going to end up more well-adjusted than Bruce does. I can't say perfectly adjusted, but better adjusted.
And then towards the end of the issue, we see Bruce's parenting skill as he's talking to Dick as Batman on the roof of the manor.
Yep.
You went to the circus tonight. Don't bother denying it.
Yep.
And Dick tells Batman, he's like, it couldn't have been an accident. And Batman's like, it wasn't.
Yep. He knows the acid.
Yep.
And I want to help. You will when the time is right. And then Dick says, I remember seeing a guy talking to Mr. Haley. He said it'd be a shame if something happened to my parents. He was a big fat guy.
Yep.
But then Bruce, which he didn't manage to do on Mother's Day, but on Father's Day, of course, Bruce got that extra little connection with his dad. He goes out to talk to his parents, reestablishing that he was about the same age when his parents died that Dick is now. And I don't know what will happen, but I think I can make a difference in his life. Which is true, as we know.
Then issue 10, Justice.
Justice, which so goofy. This just cracks me up. This is apparently such a rich person's 4th of July. They have their own fireworks, and also Bruce is dressed up in a tuxedo for the 4th of July.
Well, I think supposedly he's going out because,
Right, I know, but who wears a tuxedo on the 4th of July? I guess obviously really, really rich. Let's put it this way. The parties I go to on the 4th of July, no one's in a tuxedo.
Batman doesn't sweat.
That's a lie. He does.
I think it's Bruce like saying, "Oh, I have an important business meeting. Middle of the night. I have an important business meeting."
Right? Yeah. Just was like whatever.
But
then you can see Bruce. But that's common. Well, not as much in the 1940s when he was, when it was Batman that swiped Dick off the street.
Yeah.
But in more modern times, he's not doing a good job of balancing. He's focusing all on Dick needs me to catch the killer and not as much on Dick also needs to not just be sitting around the house all alone all the time.
Yes.
And so as he says, it's been a difficult transition. I will find Dick closure he needs. He needs that closure. And then as Bruce said, we have a lot to talk about, Dick, but you've got other plans. Big surprise. Always out. Maybe now that I see this, maybe it's just a suit that Bruce is wearing. Yeah. But he's wearing gloves on the 4th of July.
Yeah, that is weird.
Anyway, that's pretty sweet. There really is nothing that Alfred can't do. He can even set off fireworks.
Oh yeah, in the yard by the pool. Yeah.
Yep. Has his own little firework cannon.
Yes. So Bruce has to leave to meet with Gordon and the cops in the sewers as they're like tracking down Mr. Freeze and Two-Face.
Yep.
Blah blah.
Ivy. People are getting.
Yes.
La la la. Okay. And so.
Then back to the circus.
Back to the circus. Exactly. Dick is there. Fighting out. They're threatening Haley again. And
if Mr. Zuko
Dick gets his trusty slingshot, which he actually had back in the 40s.
Yes.
He doesn't often always have it in more modern times, but
if Mr. Zuko has to come out here again, Haley, it's gonna be bad.
Yep. Dick hits them, but the guy smacks him with the gun.
In the back
but thankfully, boom, Batman puts in an appearance, which this is a pretty sweet page.
Yeah, just like tackles the guy to the ground. He's on top of him. Yeah, he's just like, tell everyone the circus is off limits.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. And then, finally, we're back in the Batcave. And Bruce is kind of thinking, I was ready to tell someone my truth, Harvey Dent. Then he got acided, so it's good that I didn't. But now he, is ready to tell Dick. Also, cracking up, just like we saw in the 1995 version, Dick asked, "What is this place?" I never thought to give it a name, but I see he already has the dinosaur and the penny there.
Yep.
So I guess Dick gets to chooses to name it the Batcave. I don't know. Someone does. So, and then this is funny, as it points out. Dick's like, "Why do you even care what happens to me? I see more of you than that guy Wayne, and he's supposed to look out for me." And then Bruce's like, "Okay, yeah, that is true. Truth hurts in that case." And so, boom, the big reveal.
Yep, we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, but at least now Dick won't be so mad when you're leaving and won't feel so neglected because he knows.
That's right.
You're out doing something good. Yay! It's on the road to being Robin. Okay, some stuff. And then Dick's training under Wayne Manor. That training W honestly kind of looks a little bit like Scarecrow.
Issue 11, Passion.
Yep. And then we have some hilarious Alfred quips per usual when Dick knocks the head off one. Alfred says, "That will be coming out of your allowance." It is funny.
I understand training with the big stick, but it'd be funny if he was training with two little ones.
That would be.
Yes.
But he's too little. When he's little, he needs a big stick, and when he's big, you can get by with little sticks.
Yes.
And Dick thinking Bruce doesn't trust him, but Alfred pointing out it was pretty extraordinary for him to share a secret with you. Which is true. In this continuity, he's the second person, I guess, who knows. But of course, as we know, back in the 40s, he was the first person.
That's right. Yeah, because Dick's like, he doesn't trust me, and that's when Alfred's like, no. You know how extraordinary it is for him to share a secret with you?
Pretty extraordinary. Plus, it's like we know what's coming, and it's one thing to train a kid, and of course, maybe to let him help get his parents out. But yeah, this is super child endangerment, so
Oh yeah.
We, of course, want Robin to pop up, and we know that's what's going to happen. But, I can definitely understand Bruce and Alfred having some reservations, shall we say.
Oh, yeah.
And so then they go to get Tony Zuko. Yeah. And he says, "The Maronis gave you up. It was the same acid." He runs up to the roof
he's shooting at Batman. He runs away.
Dick knocks his gun out of his hand with his stick, and then because he ran,
his heart.
He starts. Yeah, he must be having, because he ran, he must be having a heart attack. It says an ambulance is coming. Then he gives them some hints. The Maroney brothers, they don't work for the Falcones. See, they're not just brothers, they're twins. I assume that's in reference to Alberto and his brother, right?
Well, those are the Falcones. The Maronis, like I said, the one is the one who threw acid in Harvey Dent's face. So I'm trying to remember if there's a continuity thing. Oh, you know what? So I'm trying to remember if one of the Maronis died because we'll get there. But in Batman Year 3, after years in prison, a Maroni gets out of or no, was that Zuko? No, that's Zuko.
Why not? I think it's revealed, but now I'm forgetting. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
And then Tony Zuko dies.
In this version, because like I said, in Year 3, he spends years in prison. Right, yeah.
So, although he dies in the 1995 version too.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're kind of... But then, of course, in New 52, wasn't Tony Zuko living in Chicago or whatever? After...
His daughter was, and then it was revealed, I don't know if Dick thought he was dead, but he, faked his death. I forget, it's been a while since I read it.
Yeah, but I was thinking he wasn't dead.
He wasn't dead, but I'm trying to remember if Dick thought he was dead or if he thought he was in prison. But yeah. I mean, depending what era and who's telling the story, they always change up, what happens.
One of the things that's kind of cool is It's definitely a distinctive style. Yeah, this and how Dick is always so small.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Bruce is a big guy, but I mean, unless Dick is like 3 years old, he'd probably be a little bit taller than Batman. But it's an aesthetic.
Yes.
And I like it. It's cool. And him looking over like, wow, that guy, he's dead. That's pretty intense.
Yes. Then we get a whole bunch with
Harvey Dent stuff.
Harvey Dent's on trial, gets freed by the other rogues, blah, blah.
Now we're on to 12. Oh, this is another style thing. This one freaks me out a little bit more. The Joker has such a huge mouth in this comic.
I know. It's the art.
And so many teeth.
Yeah, Tim Sale does that because he did that in Long Halloween too. It's very weird. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of intense. Some hints about the DA. Set up. Okay. Yes. Oh, there. I marked it. So then we're back in the Batcave. Oh, it's already Labor Day. And even though Dick doesn't look like he's moved that much, this is the big reveal. Bruce, which this is also a cool one. Like, look, Bruce's arm is thicker than Dick's whole head, I swear. Anyway, but then Bruce, again, the hint, it's slightly different because, in 1995 they said he was Robin because he came on the first day of spring. This one, his mom says, my mom called me Robin because I was always bobbing along, which I think is a song.
Mm-hmm.
Comes from.
But
then, this one too, kind of the contrast. Like, look how small he is versus his face.
Because Bruce is looking over all these hangman clues that the killer's been leaving, and Dick's like, "Hey, we played games like this all the time in this, on the road. Dots, tic-tac-toe, hangman."
So this isn't a game, except kind of is.
And then he's like,
I mean, it isn't a game, but also the killer is making it a game.
Oh yeah. Because Dick's like, look, he's like, this first one that you said where it says none of them are safe, he's like, what if it's not none? What if it's 9?
It's a clue because there's 9 of you. Yes, I think that's Sophia Falcone Gigante.
Mm-hmm.
She is the head.
Yeah, after Carmine Falcone died, supposedly in the Long Halloween, Sophia became head of the family.
And that's cute how he's looking. Look, his little concentration face. And then, of course, he says, a message, not a clue. And then Bruce and Alfred
look at each other,
sharing a look like, hey, yeah.
The boy shows promise.
What do you think? The boy shows promise. Exactly.
I like stories like this because I like when they actually show Batman actually using detective skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and it's nice that they show, that wasn't like a huge thing, Oh, hey, maybe it's 9 instead of none of you. But, it shows that Dick is thinking and it helps Bruce realize, a second perspective can always be helpful because, the difference between 9 and none is just one letter. It's not that big of a deal. But
that's right. It's a small clue, but he figured it out.
Never considered it.
9.
Mm-hmm. And then, boom, we get to 13 piece, which we know. We have Batman and Robin. Boom.
Peace.
Good stuff is going to happen. This is where it all comes together. Batman's going to realize who the bad person is.
Well, Bruce comes back to the cave. I love Dick just like cartwheeling over the top of the board there.
Yeah, and he says he can do a triple flip inside the cave, which is good. We know that he can do a quadruple flip, but it might not be high enough in there.
And then we see all those.
And Dick, I could help. And Alfred says yes, but he will never ask.
And all those drawings, he's trying to come up with a costume.
Dick's thinking, yep, Bat Boy, Batty. All terrible names, so good thing he's not going to go with that. There. Look at Joker's face. It's like such a huge jaw. Should have gotten braces for that.
But yeah, just like in Long Halloween, at the end of the story, all the villains are like coming together.
Yep. Coming together, we realize it's Sophia, and then somehow, so they're down in the sewers?
I think so. Yes.
Down in the sewers, okay, danger, high voltage, and then Solomon Grundy, who's there, rips off
yes, the electrified
electrified screen, and it turns out that connects them into the Batcave. Oh Very bad.
So yeah,
Very
so they're in
bad.
the cave, but they don't know where they're at. So
Yeah, and this is a cool one.
oh yeah,
Now, the big cave, they're so tiny down there. Boom, you see, and you can kind of get a sense of, there's lower levels of the cave, there's some of the computers, there's the dinosaur and the penny, then there's upper levels.
turn the page. I love that first
So
panel.
that's pretty
I love that
awesome.
first panel. Just you see Dick's little hand reaching up for his costume, like showtime.
Yeah, is it on this one? Or,
Page 372.
oh no, yes, yeah, reaching up all the time, and they realize someone's down here, and it's because Batman was following. So he's Dick.
Yeah, then
It says,
that full page spread.
Uh-oh, and then he must realize, he must hear, because Batman doesn't say anything out loud,
Yeah.
but he must hear him, or else he knows I should act like Batman's coming, because he's going to be here eventually. Says, okay, Batman, let's take him.
Yep.
Joker, what the hell is this? Which seems like a pretty reasonable reaction to some kid popping out at you.
Mm-hmm.
And Two-Face starts shooting at him, and Dick doesn't even care. And then, boom, not alone, mister, a dynamic duo.
Those teeth make a big target.
Those teeth, I know, they're so huge.
Dick kicks him in the face.
They're so huge, yep. Boom. He hits him. Batman knocks out Harvey Dent. Knocks him unconscious. Well, no, he's about to knock him unconscious. Harvey pulls another gun out. Stay back, and then
Joker shoots Two-Face.
Harvey's, Gotham's mine, and then Joker shoots him. With what kind of gun, we don't know.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be dead. He's popping back up. And then the Joker. And then this is pretty great. The Joker. This is like the most intense one. Look at that mouth. Look at that mouth.
All the teeth look fine, too.
Yep. And he's, the Joker soliloquizing. I don't know. Giving a bunch of gangsters, the same old Harv. Which is actually true. Two-Face was just getting rid of a very different reason, and he was murdering them, which is not good.
Yes.
And then, of course, Joker, he never understood Gotham City like you and me, bats. Which is so very Joker. And then Dick apparently has had enough of this nonsense. Screwball in the corner pocket. Whap, back at those teeth. That makes such a great target. And that must have knocked him out. Even though he hit his teeth and not his head, but then he's standing on there. And then, pretty cool, huh? And then classic Batman. What is that you're wearing?
And then, of course, the sewer tunnels leading into the caves will be dynamited, so this never happens again. It could have been much worse if it wasn't for Dick.
Exactly. Huzzah! A dynamic duo indeed. Because I assume that because Dick jumped down, that the criminals only ever saw the lower level, so they don't know they made it to the Batcave.
Oh, okay. I thought they knew it was the cave. I thought they knew it was the cave. They just didn't know where the cave was located at, though.
Oh, I thought they didn't. I don't know. I was under the impression that they didn't realize where they were. Because they say, "What have we found here?" And they're in a cave.
Either way,
maybe they.
Yeah, either way, they didn't know what house they were under.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know as they totally knew that it was the Batcave, because Batman was following them, and
yes,
I've never seen that kid before. But yep, and then. Gordon, I understand you're working with a young partner now. I'd like to meet him sometime. Yes, I am. And you will. I assume you must have heard that from the Joker since. Well, and maybe Freeze and Poison Ivy.
Yes.
Back to the cops. Alberto's dead. The brother. Who's the third one? Mario. He's burning the house down. Then the big reveal about Selena's parentage. Okay, who is this?
That's Carmine Falcone.
Oh, okay. So where is he?
I don't know. So that's what I was like. Were they planning a resurrection or something? Because I don't think you never see Carmine Falcone again after that.
Okay. Do you think he's under there?
I don't know if he was.
That's where
he's supposed to be buried, but I don't know why Harvey has his body. Because, like I said, I don't think you ever see him again, dead or otherwise.
Okay. All right, and there's okay, yeah, because I should have figured that it was the Carmine. Because at first I thought, that kind of looks like Alfred. What the heck?
Yeah, no, it's Carmine Falcone. And then,
okay,
and then I guess they played it. I don't know. I don't know if they literally said it or if they were like kind of putting doubt in people's minds. Like, hey, I think they were kind of saying that Carmine Falcone was Selena's father, her biological father.
Yeah, that's definitely what she's getting. Well, I mean, that's what she says. She says, I took your money because I know you're my dad and you didn't give me anything. But she says, there's nothing. I know you're my real father, but I can never prove it. So I guess that kind of leaves it open.
Yeah.
All right. And then, we get another version of the oath.
Yes.
They don't tell us the oath, but we've got the candle. And then Bruce is saying, the yellow cape, not the best idea. Dick says, nope. Those were the colors my parents wore in the circus. So, really emphasizes, and what do you want to call yourself? Robin. So we know this is his way to honor his parents. And the colors are very meaningful, and the name is very meaningful. And of course, just sets up for some of the transition to Nightwing stuff to make Bruce a bigger jerk, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, because it's weird, because it's like if Dick comes up with the name and everything, it's like, well, it's like when it's like leave the costume and, change your name, it's like, no.
Right. I mean, it's cool. It's definitely a better story and it's more meaningful. I mean, it does narratively work out. It just kind of pains me because, Dick is my favorite, obviously, but sometimes Bruce Wayne, some writers make Bruce Wayne more of a jerk than he has to be.
Yeah. But just,
he's not too.
It's just like, I have the trademark.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It may, anyway, we'll get to that later. And so Bruce saying, now I see in Dick the chance to help him cope with his own loss and guide him into being a better man for it. So another hint at how it's gonna, how Dick's gonna end up pretty well adjusted for someone who runs around and beats up criminals in spandex / Kevlar / Nomex weave / whatever goofy made up thing they're using. And this grade, of course, I made a promise to my parents that I would rid the city of the evil that took their lives. That remains unchanged. Only now, I'm no longer alone. Which, of course, Bruce has technically never been alone because he always had Alfred. But
I guess on the streets.
I like that. Because originally it was Dick that made him not alone.
Yeah.
But he sees Dick as a kindred spirit, and they're going to be vigilante buddies together, and it's just great, and that's awesome because it's really important because I just think these kind of stories that set up how the first Robin came to be and stuff kind of like, I am no longer alone, that really sets up why, after taking in the first Robin, Bruce would keep having Robins.
Yes.
But
it also makes, you were talking about Bruce being a jerk, it also makes Jason Todd a jerk, too, because he's just like, it's my name now.
But it doesn't really make Jason Todd a jerk because he doesn't know the story.
I guess, yeah.
Jason's a kid. It's not his fault.
And, we saw
Mario. And we're jumping the gun. We can't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, and Mario Falcone, who we saw at the end, I don't think you see Mario again until he shows up again during Batman Reborn, the second time Dick was Batman, which we'll get to it after a while.
Yeah, in months and months. Yeah. Oh, also I like the Sweet Oath page because, now I can't find where the candle is. Oh, there it is. The candle, but they're swearing the oath, and he's so little again, and Batman's so huge, and just the contrast is so interesting. But also, yeah, it's great. I'm no longer alone. That's such a great way to end it. It's great.
Heck yeah, because that was the big theme of like Batman Long Halloween, is like when it started out, like Batman, Commissioner Gordon, and Harvey Dent kind of had like this 3-way partnership going.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harvey started getting more and more like he wanted to bring the Falcones down no matter what it took, and Batman and Gordon weren't too happy, and then the whole acid thing happens, and it's just like that's why Batman's like, oh, thank goodness I didn't tell him my secret.
Right? Yeah. True. Yeah. Oh, this is a really good one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's funny because I feel as though honestly Dark Victory gets popped up because I think I see the Long Halloween more. People seem to think Long Halloween is maybe a better kind of detective story, which is fine. But this comes up a lot, sequel, and of course, it's funny because I primarily read it as another Dick Grayson origin story. But really, this is a great one for people to read because it has so much going on. You don't have to read it as a Robin origin story. That's only a small part of it. It's also a good detective story.
Yeah, I mean,
but also if you're really into Robin, this is a great one because the detective, the serious Batman detectiving, is broken up with Robin's origin, the formation of a family.
Yeah, and
it's
again,
a real crowd pleaser, I would say.
Yeah, Long Halloween gets mentioned just because it's the first one, and they're like, if you want to know what's all going, this whole Falcone thing, and Catwoman's obsession and stuff. Yeah, you should read Long Halloween first. But yeah, I mean, you could read it. You could read this one without Long Halloween, but it just.
Well, right. I mean, I've actually never read Long Halloween.
Oh, you should. You know what? Yeah, there's no Robin, but it is a good Batman story.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've heard, but.
Yes.
I'll think about it.
I know they've collected that in trade many times, just like they've collected this. So.
Yeah. It's not too hard to pick up.
Yeah, no, it's a good story considering that Dick Grayson's not in it. So.
One mark against it, but otherwise it's pretty good, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. I think then that this puts an end. Because next up is the Gauntlet, right?
I believe so. Yes, the Gauntlet.
So technically, this is we've completed
all the origins.
All the origins. I mean, I won't say we haven't read all of the origins because I don't think are we. Yeah, I guess we'll read one later on. The one that Kyle Higgins wrote, Nightwing 0.
Oh yeah.
That's actually his origin, but that's
New 52.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different continuity.
And they'll
and it's possible we skip. It's possible we skip. Well, I mean, we did skip some kind of mini origins.
Well,
mini recaps.
Well, we'll get we'll get like flashbacks too during Batman Year 3 too.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and I mean, there's some in Secret Files and stuff that we have skipped over. But
I think we've covered
these are the big main origin stories. I mean, really. 40,
what?
Excuse me, Detective 38.
Yes.
Not as much Batman 32. The Annual, this one. What was the other origin one we read? Was that it?
Hold on, let me bring up the list. Because I know we did 2 is Dawn of Troy, but that wasn't an origin story for Dick, really.
No, yeah. These might, and the Titan one. So these kind of might be, these are kind of the big origin ones. So do you have a favorite? What do you think?
I don't know if it's just more modern, but I like, the Annual and this one, I think most, but maybe just because I'm like more of a modern Batman fan,
Sure.
I read more of the, from like the 80s on more than, that early stuff from the 40s and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I can't decide. I wouldn't say I have a specific favorite because I kind of like reading them and kind of picking and choosing different things because I really like, in the 1995 Annual, I was Robin because I was born on the first day of spring. But I mean, he could also be Robin because then he was always bobbing along. So I don't see those as being, contradictory. But I prefer, and say Dark Victory and the original one, that Mr. Haley doesn't get killed.
Yes.
And there isn't somebody in the circus who
kills the Graysons. Yeah.
Yeah, that it was just the mobsters.
The mob, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's nice because it's kind of more simplified, streamlined.
And you know what? And you know what I like about that too? It kind of ties their deaths to Gotham crime, just like Bruce Wayne's parents' murders.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So that's another. They can both. Bruce can be like, Gotham crime took my parents, and they took yours too.
Yeah, but I do like. I do like how the Annual kind of fills in what happens between. I mean, briefly. I mean, and it sucks because they sent him to the juvie detention center. But I do think that adds a little something. to Dick's origin. I mean, one, it emphasizes how crappy Gotham can be and how much it needs vigilantes because it kind of sucks as a city. But then also it, I just think it can add to his desire to kind of clean up the city because he knows that Juvie is a bad place.
You know what? This is just reminded me all of a sudden, like, I'm trying to remember the issues. Like, it was either late 90s or early 2000s. There was, like, an origin for Catwoman where, like, I don't know, her father left and, like, her mother committed suicide or something. She got, like, you know, she went into, like, foster care pretty much, and then she ran away. And then, like, she got basically taken in by like, a thief, I guess, who was, like, training kids to, like, steal. So it's almost like the Robin origin, except it's, like, you know, she wasn't taken in by a Batman. She was taken in by a criminal. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I do kind of remember. Well, Catwoman had her own series for a while in the 90s. Oh, yeah, in the 90s. It was one of those, like, 90-some issues, yeah.
A lot of people had their own series in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, Azrael.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's when Tim and Dick got their own series, and Birds of Prey. 90s was quite the happy. That must have been a really flush time in the comic book industry.
Oh yeah, the bubble didn't burst until like the late 90s, yeah. But I think ever since at least the 80s or 90s, yeah. I mean, if anything sells at DC, it's Batman centric stuff, like Bat family stuff.
Yeah.
Even more than like Superman or anything. Yeah, Batman's what's keeping that. If anything's keeping that company afloat, it's Batman and family.
Yeah, although I think I've read this somewhere. It's not the comics that are keeping that. It's not the comics that are keeping them afloat. It's all the other stuff. And honestly, they just publish the comics to keep the trademarks renewed. Because
they're loss leader anymore. Yeah, I mean, they're
because when you think about it, I mean, I think a good sale of a comic book will be around 100,000 across the country.
Yeah.
That's not that good.
Back in the 90s, like the highest selling ones, like X-Men, Spider-Man, I mean, their number one sold like 1 million or so copies, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, back in the 40s, I mean, people were selling 4 or 5 million comic books. That's what I said. But yeah, now.
Well, there's too much.
I mean, granted, if 100,000 people read anything that I wrote, that would be insane because people do not read, academic stuff. But come on, only 100,000 people. Granted, more than that are reading, but only 100,000 people are buying a Batman comic. There's millions. There's 300 and some million people in the U.S., and probably all of them know who Batman is.
Well, and plus now they have to deal with, Batman movies, Batman cartoons, Batman video games. And I think I'm trying to remember, I think they said the counts may not be accurate because I don't know if I don't think they count digital or digital counts differently. So, I don't think they're even counting digital comics, so.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do. So yeah, they might be making more money. Which actually, a slight plug for digital comics. I know how awesome it is to have it in your hand, but I think I asked Dick Grayson about it one time. The thing is, if you want to get back issues, if you buy a back issue digitally, the people who wrote and drew and colored, they get some money. I mean, I don't know, it might be a nickel or something. It's not a lot. But if you buy a comic, the hard copy comic from a comic book shop or whatever, the only person getting the money is the person who sold it to you. Yeah. I suppose that's one good thing about the digital comics. I mean, aside from then you don't have to traipse around with all of these comics. But if there's a comic you really like and you buy it, then the people who wrote it and the artists get a little bit of money.
Oh, do they? Because, I'm an old man. Yeah. I like my physical copies. Yeah, I didn't know how it worked because I think, with the physical copies, I think the store owners have to buy those copies and then I guess, that gets distributed,
Yeah, but since the digital copies are unlimited. I mean, because however many copies they printed of whatever, the actual copy, if it's not in a trade paperback. Yeah. That, of course, is the other thing. If you buy a if you want physical and you can buy it in a trade paperback, then the people who wrote it and were the artists will also get money. Yes. Will also get money from it. But yeah, I hadn't really thought about that because I've gone to some shows and bought old comics. And I mean, some of them are old. And all the people who wrote them are probably dead, so it's not such a big deal. But if you're buying ones from the 90s or the 2000s, you get it on sale at Comixology, where you can buy one, get one free, or it's 99 cents or whatever, the people who did the comic get a little bit of money.
That's what I wondered, if you bought something from the 90s or something, if those people still got paid for it. So digitally, they still get paid for that?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the difference. Because technically, I guess because it's kind of it's like when you buy, it's like used books versus buying a Kindle book.
Yeah.
If you buy a Kindle Agatha Christie, I mean, she's dead, but her estate gets some of that money. Whereas if you go to the used bookstore and you buy the used physical copy,
they can't track
yeah,
that.
they don't. Yeah, in resale, you don't get. So it's like when I bought this, DC got some money for it, but if I sell it to you, just me gets the money.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not selling it to you. Get your own, Phil.
We both talked to her before, but now that you mention it, we should get Devin Grayson on here for an episode, even if it's not an issue she wrote.
Yeah.
I know she likes Dick Grayson.
Yeah, but she's very cool. She knows what's up.
That's right.
All right. So,
yes,
I think that's a wrap for now on Origin Story. I mean, the Gauntlet is kind of still an origin story, but it's a slightly different.
It's not the circus. It's not the origin. It's like a couple weeks.
Right? Yeah,
after,
it's not.
Yeah.
Well, now because Dick's been around so long. Well, I mean, the same kind of thing with Batman. You just see how we've expanded, how we get more detailed about everything. It sometimes reminds me of the work I do as a historian. So I take a primary source, and it's one page, and I write 5 pages about it. Students are like, oh, how am I going to get 15 pages when I just have these little primary sources? Guys, just because your primary source is somebody's 1-page letter, there's all this other stuff you got to say. I feel like the 90s or the 40s, 30s and 40s comics are like that. Batman's origin, his original origin, I swear, was, 3 pages. His parents died. He swore vengeance. He grew up. A bat flew in his window. He said, that's a great idea. Boom. He became Batman. Started punching people.
That's a modern thing. They love to flesh out those origins. Like back in the 1962, Spider-Man's origin was like, I forget, like 12 pages or something. In was it 1999, 2000? Brian Michael Bendis stretched that out to 7 issues in Ultimate Spider-Man. But
I mean, we love it. I mean, that's why so many of the movies, I think, are origin stories. We just even though I don't always think they make the best. We've talked about this before. How I think they should have a Batman movie that's Robin's origin, because then you have Batman plus an origin story, as opposed to a Batman origin story, which is an origin and only a tiny bit of Batman.
And if you're going to do the Dick Grayson origin, make it a kid. Don't make it Chris O'Donnell. It's like, why is this 25-year-old guy going to live with Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, there are plenty of good child actors out there.
Oh, yeah. Look at Stranger Things. There's
those kids are too old now. Get the next Stranger Things.
But I'm just saying, you can find kid actors. It's not.
Right, yeah, those kids were good. Right, yeah, the kids who did it, they were all really good. Anywho,
right.
Yeah, but I think now we can see we love origins. So yeah, we can break up both Dick and Bruce's origins have been broken up into so many, stuff, and then it's the actual origin, and then now we even had his 0 year, which is his kind of Batman Begins year, where he's traveling around, and then we have year 1, and then we have year 2, and finally, with Dick, we have the original origin up to getting Tony Zuko, and then we have the continued training and the Gauntlet, and then we have kind of the first year.
Year 1, yeah.
And then we get Teen Titans year 1, which is, a different year 1, but yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's get out of here.
There are so many origin stories that we're reading, so heads up, listeners, you might be sick of origin stories, but I think maybe certainly by June, maybe earlier, most of the origins will be done.
I mean, even in a few weeks, we're going to get the Judas contract and,
Yeah, but that's an origin story.
Yeah, for Nightwing, though. I mean, I don't think that's been retold as much, and then you get to, him passing it to Jason and...
Also an origin story.
Yes, but I'm just saying it's not the Dick Grayson origin, though.
Well, right, but it's
the Dick Grayson Robin origin, yes.
But yes, there's a lot. He has a lot of origin stories. Because, eventually we'll have him as Batman origin story.
Hey, it's Robin.
Actually, twice, because one's for Prodigal and one's for...
Hey, Robin is a symbol of rebirth.
That's right.
All right, so yes, do your homework, people. Read the Gauntlet. Send your thoughts on, well, you can send your thoughts on Dark Victory. We'll read that next time. Or send your thoughts on the Gauntlet so we can read them while we're talking about it. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voice.
And remember, if you have something you want us to read and talk about, send it in. We'll read more.
Or if you want Devin Grayson on here, tweet her on, get at her on Twitter at Gothamet. Tell her she needs to come on here. Even though me and Kristen have both talked to her separately before. All right, so call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Follow Nightwing News on Facebook, on Twitter. Follow all the Capes and Lunatics stuff, all in one convenient place. That's Linktree. That's linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And support the sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the book. If you love podcasting, get it now in digital. That's right. And paperback.
I have it in digital, in fact.
That's right. And, oh, hey, I don't think you can you get Dick Grayson Boy Wonder in digital?
I believe you can, actually.
Can you? Okay, I didn't know.
Copy. Yeah.
So remember, people get money when you buy their digital.
Yes.
Maybe the person who put that together might get some money. So yeah, go buy Dick Grayson Boy Wonder. And go check the show notes for the Southgate Media Group link to Amazon when you do your Amazon shopping, and help us bring you such fine products as the Nightwing News and other such great products. Like Before the Bat over on the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast, where Lilith and I are covering in-depth Nightfall right now. So check that out. Oh, she said she wants you to guest star one episode. So
okay. Let me know
what
I gotta read.
It'll be a little bit, but I was gonna say I was just reading it today. Maybe we'll have to have you on for Batman 500 because Dick does show up as Nightwing on like just 2 pages.
Sweet.
Him and Tim have a little talk.
Nice.
All right, so I would ask you if you want to promote anything, but you don't. I know that.
You already did the promoting.
Oh yes, get Dick Grayson Boy Wonder in paperback or digitally. Get it digital. All right. And I can tell by that cat's tail it's time to go.
Yep. Nightwing Cat says goodbye.
I was going to say, Kristen is not a poser. She named her cat Nightwing, so. So is Dick Grayson like the DC Universe's version of Captain America because everyone talks about his butt now?
I think Captain America stole that from Dick Grayson.
I think so. Well, movie Captain America did, yeah. That's Gotham's ass!
Well, if you can ever get Chris Evans to talk to you, you can ask him, "Hey, did you steal that ass comment?"
Probably gonna talk to the writers or whatever. All right, enough of this nonsense. Join us next time. Same wing time, same wing channel.
Same wing channel.
Keep flying, Graysons.